What is up, everybody? I'm excited. Are you excited? Because I am. We're going to be doing the solar eclipse and Taurus energy shift reading today, and I'm really stoked about it. Oh, dang it. I actually had the astrology pulled up over here. So I'm going to do this kind of how I do my Patreon readings, talk about the astrology, and yeah, then we're going to get right into it. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, so this actually is a really positive solar eclipse, by the way. It's really not bad. Is it intense? Yes, because we have a lot of awakening energy. But let's talk about that. So for instance, let's talk about, where is it? I have it saved on here. Okay. So the solar eclipse in Taurus is not malefic, right? It will actually be ruled by Venus, who's in the sign of exaltation, and will be merging with Jupiter, who's in the sign of its domicile. Its conjunction with Uranus is neutral, and the moon exalts in Taurus. So it's actually most powerful where it's at right now. Not most, but because there's other placements that it does a little bit better in. But so this eclipse is actually gifting us a lot of potential because we have 5 planets right now in Pisces. Actually, I think we have, no, we have, where is it? Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I'll get to it in a second. I have it pulled up. So it's giving us the time to create a more stable foundation in our life, but it's going to come with sacrifice. So, and that's because Taurus is our new north node, right? So because it's the first solar eclipse and it's in our north node, it's basically saying, hey, this is our destiny. This is our new future. We're going to ask you to break down what is no longer serving you in your life, right? So this is going to be reflected with the lunar eclipse we have in Scorpio after that, which is our current south node, which is the past karma, right? And that's why I've been doing this karmic series, because we're closing out a lot of karma going into the solar eclipse. And that's going to be a much more intense lunar eclipse than this particular solar eclipse that we're taking part in. So ultimately, the Taurus eclipse will represent a grand opportunity to begin building really solid footing in relationships and finances and luxury, right? Expansive energy, because Jupiter and Venus are both in Pisces right now, along with the moon and Uranus. And did Pluto go into it? I don't think so. I got to check. Taurus. So check out where Taurus is in your chart right now. That is going to be the most important. It's going to be at 12 degrees. No, not 12 degrees. Scrolled a little too far, guys. It is going to be at 10 degrees in the sign of Taurus. But if you have it at 12 degrees, that's going to be fine too, because give or take 4 degrees left or right of that. Okay. It's going to be massive potential for growth and abundance for the upcoming year, especially when Jupiter enters Taurus in 2023. Okay. So it's a really, really good time. It's a really, really good time. So what is it? We have, let me pull up Time Nomad, and then I'm going to get right into the reading, because I'm not going to spend crazy amount of time like I normally do on Patreon in regards to astrology, because usually I'll go in depth on it. But right now we have Mercury, Uranus, the North Node. I know the moon is in Taurus. No, it's in Pisces. That's what it is. Pisces. Why do I keep saying Taurus? It's Pisces. We have the 5 planets in Pisces. Venus, Neptune, Jupiter, the moon in Pisces, and I think it's Pluto that's supposed to be entering Pisces. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Pluto that enters Pisces come this solar eclipse. And it's going to be because it's in the last few degrees. Dun, 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 dun. Aquarius. Pluto's going to go in Aquarius. Okay. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. I was just jumping on to do a reading. I actually didn't plan on doing the astrology, so it's okay. But let's get into it. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, let's start off with, it's gonna be interesting. Angels and ancestors and mystical shamans. So this is gonna be, if you've been with me for a while, you know that me and mystical shaman have a very deep relationship. This is one of my favorite oracle decks ever. I will be pulling some cards for the collective here on YouTube, and then I'm going to be doing a part 2 of this reading on my Patreon channel. So just stay tuned if you want to see more, and check out Patreon if you want to see more, because it's going to be for all tiers. But let's see. Let's get into it. Let's see what's going on for the collective. The rattle. Water, which makes sense with all the Piscean energy, and the owl, which makes sense because we have a lot of higher consciousness energy. The owl to me represents the higher self. It is the third eye. It's the crown trying to open. And with water here, the owl's in reverse, by the way. And with water here, there's a need to connect to the emotions, to the fluidity of life, right? To understand that some things don't need to be spoken on at this time. Typically, the rattle in reverse in this particular deck, if you read about it, is like be mindful of your words, right? Like speak your truth. This really feels like speaking with compassion, speaking with authenticity, because it's going to feel a little bit like walking on eggshells around some people at this time, because there's going to be a lot of tension in some ways, a lot of volatility in some ways. And in other ways, there's going to be a lot of compassion. There's going to be a lot of bridging the gap. There's going to be a lot of resolution. It really all depends on where Taurus lands for you, on where Pisces lands for you, where these big hitters are falling in your chart. Okay, let's continue. And how you use the energy, the seer. I love that we have the seer and the owl next to each other, and they're both in reverse, because this tells me that it's quite literally the awakening, right? It's the shakeup of the ground beneath us. And I say that because the seer is seeing beyond the current situation. It's choosing to walk the path of the intuitive self versus the logical self, right? And the owl next to it is that third eye crown energy. There's a need to shift into how you truly feel about a situation, connect with the actual energetic body, and understand where you're meant to move at this time. Things are not going to be logical. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is distortion, illusion. It's also daydreams and fantasies. It's intuition. It's very higher consciousness energy. And because of that, when we have 5 celestial bodies about to be in Pisces at this time, it's going to be intense, and it might be difficult to stay grounded in the here and now and not try to take action on things logically. There's going to be a need to really trust your intuition. And that might test some of you who are still struggling with deciphering between the intuition and the ego, right? The fear and the true higher self. Wind. This is the washing away. The washing away immediately. It's a washing away. It's a washing away. And it breaks down to a 9, which is completion. I love this. I love this so much. They're going to have to go. Whoever they are, they're going to have to go. If you're sitting there wondering if this is about a person or a situation, they're going to have to go, where the form it's taken is going to have to end. And you already know this. It's not like we're telling you something that you're not aware of. Bottom of the deck is the lower world, followed by the upper world, right? It's the battle of the ego and the intuition, understanding that the parts of us that are scared, that have limiting beliefs, that are struggling to step into the higher self or follow what we really want to pursue or where we really want to go, are staying too attached to the people that we think might come on this path with us. We think, right? But intuitively, we know there's something a little off there. We might have to let it go, and that's okay. Because if it's meant for you, it's going to come back. And that disconnect in energy is going to allow both people or both energies, because an energy can also be a situation, a job, a circumstance, to go and take on new life, because you're not squeezing it so tight. You're not bombarding it with this worry or concern, right? You're just present. You're just present. And that's very healthy. I love this. I'm going to keep both of these out. This is the overall. I'm going to keep that right there. I'll do the spread with this on Patreon. That's what I'll do. And I'll clarify this spread for right now. I don't know. I might do 2 spreads on both. I really might, because this is actually a very intense but positive solar eclipse. Like there's so much opportunity for expansion. But like we've been saying in a lot of the collective readings, there's this fear mongering going on. There's this anxiety, there's stress, there's upheavals, there's changes. And those are happening to say like, hello, this needs to be rearranged. This needs to go, or this needs to be taken more seriously. There needs to be a new way to handle things. And that's okay. Okay. So it's the release. Oh, it feels so nice though. It doesn't feel bad, to be honest with you. It does not feel bad. Does it feel like there's going to be some challenges? Yeah, but it feels like it's like, oh wait, we got this. It feels nice. I like it. Let's look at the rattle. As heard a few steps. This feels like someone like feeling out a situation. Like, should I do this? Is this really the smartest move right now? It really feels like that. Yeah, a few steps. The rattle. It's cautious awareness. That's quite literally what like you're so cautious with this. It could be tiptoeing around a conversation. That's really what it feels like. It feels like approaching something, whatever your action is, whether it be speaking or building. It's this energy of, is now really the right time? And I think intuitively, you know, like it's okay for me to not do this quite yet, or it's okay for me to get it going and really buckle down and finally do it, right? You know the truth of it. It's just a matter of listening to your own truth and not your fear. Let's look at the rattle. I heard follow the path, which is really nice. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. There's the resistance to indulge in that exchange of energy. The 6 of Pentacles is Taurus energy, the Taurus solar eclipse, right? It is Taurus energy. I absolutely love this because with Taurus being your first card out, that is the strongest card, right? On top of that, with it in reverse, it's the recognition that, okay, I could be giving more out to receive more back, because the 6 of Pentacles is what's being invested, so you can reap that reward, right? I'm going to do this, so I get this in return. Some of you, this is about communication. This could be on social platforms. This could be in a group. You can become a leader of a society, a leader of a class. You could be getting a certification. This feels like a stepping up. It does. It feels like the opening of, we've been talking, I was just about to say the higher heart. And look what popped out. The Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. It could be the opening of the higher heart into the soul's purpose, because the higher heart allows you to align with what is most meant for you. It's fulfilling in all ways. No longer people pleasing, no longer succumbing to what you think people want of you. Because what you think they want doesn't matter in regards to what you want, right? Because when you're in line with what is really fulfilling you and is healthy for you as an individual, you are going to attract the people, situations, relationships, finances that are supportive for your life and lifestyle. Let's look at water for the collective for the solar eclipse. Why is water here for the solar eclipse? The time has passed. The time has passed. Okay. That's funny. King of Cups in reverse. This literally feels like the time to approach this person is dead and gone. Like they're just, you know, when someone's just not receptive. And that's why I felt like the tiptoe. The time has passed. Now it's the time to just hold space. Like focus on yourself. Do what you most need to do for you. And that makes a lot of sense, because when we have all this awakening energy, it's the need to go within. It's the need to go hermit. It's the need to be with oneself. I just heard focus on your truth. This individual, it's not that they lack love. It's not. They're very hermit mode is really what it feels like. They don't lack love. They're not disconnected. They're in a place of, and I'm a firm believer that everybody on their spiritual journey or life, either label you want to stop on it, is going to experience where they're not receptive to hearing what they need to do from other people, right? They want to learn it on their own. And if you've been trying to help somebody or somebody's been trying to help you and you haven't been receptive, it's because they want to figure out how they feel about something on their own terms, on their own time. It's releasing that control and holding space, holding space. I can hold space for you, but I'm not going to give my energy to you, right? And I'm going to hold space for myself. It's allowing a healthy separation. Again, this does not have to be romantic. This could be a friend. This could be a situation. Yeah, Queen of Cups. You're a true pair. The true pair. There it is. The Queen of Cups. It's a lack of emotional, it's an emotional disconnect. It's just kind of like, I know you're not really receptive to me in all ways right now. And I know I'm not really receptive to you in all ways. And it's not that I don't love you. It's just that like I kind of am I'm getting overstimulated, right? And I want to have time to myself because Piscean energy, all this Pisces energy going on is going to be a lot of higher consciousness energy. It's going to shift the body to a higher state. And in turn, you're going to become more sensitive. And that's going to make people want to spend more time alone, right? And there's the moon, Pisces energy. And then we have the Six of Swords. These two are recognizing the need to have that separation, to spend that time apart, so they can work through what they're feeling internally as individuals. And it doesn't have to be toward each other. It could be like, oh, I want to get back in touch with my hobbies. I want to find structure in my life. I want my finances to improve. And I want to get focused on my health again, or I need to focus on my family and my kids and things for me as an individual so the rest of my life can thrive. Let's look at the owl. I heard time to shine. Hierophant in reverse. Ooh. Hierophant in reverse is the end of contracts. Hello, my dears. You're too funny. With the Hierophant in reverse, it's throwing out the rule book, right? It's the Hierophant to me is if you had a rule book for your life, you've constructed it around all your limiting beliefs up until now. Now you're realizing, oh, well, this doesn't serve me anymore. I need a new rule book. I no longer want to follow these rules because part of these rules are ruled by my fear and not my intuition. And that's where this disconnect is coming in. You're ending that contract, right? Ending the attachment. I love that so much for you. The owl. Okay, some of you are getting signs and signals. Signs and signals. Signs and signals to me come up as angel numbers, but they also come up to me as hurt elements. So if you feel like anytime you're getting like a big gust of wind on you in a certain direction, that could be a very cleansing energy. The 4 directions actually have meaning to them. If you want, you can look that up online under like shamanism, the 4 directions of the wind and the medicine wheel. Okay. But also this feels very much so in regards to relationships, your intuitive telling you, like giving you intuitive nudges. So if you've been looking something up like angel numbers a lot, or you've been feeling like, okay, I really got to let this go, or maybe I'm wrong, it's your intuition giving you signs and signals like, no, you do got to release this. It's a contract, right? Hierophant in reverse is the end of contract. I heard old papers. Tell me more about the owl. Yeah, Page of Cups. You know the truth of it. You know what's really meant for you. You know what really aligns with you. You're ready to have authentic conversation. You want something real. That's what it's getting to. You want something that's real. Not to say that this was not real. You want something that is real in the sense of who you are becoming now, right? Because it's no longer real to you because you are no longer that individual. You're going through the shift. You're allowing foundations to fall away, stepping into the new. Bottom deck is the Sun in reverse. It was oppressing. Something about it was keeping you from achieving that higher state. And now you're like, oh, wow, I can break that ceiling, breaking that barrier. I like this. Like I said, it feels very positive. It does. But it's a means of perspective, though, too, right? If you wake up each day and you think the same way each day and you go about your day the same way that you did the day before, not much change is going to occur. But if you wake up with the perspective of today is the new day and I have more tools today than I had yesterday and I have more knowledge today than I had yesterday, so I can do things differently today versus yesterday or 2-3 weeks prior, things are going to start shifting, right? Because you're not the same person you were the day before. Let's look at the Seer. Lovers in reverse. Yep. 7 of Pentacles in reverse in the Wheel of Fortune. It's the need to let it go. Let it go. And I promise you, if you let something go and it's meant for you, it's going to come back. This feels like an enmeshment. Enmeshed. Let yourself have space at this time. overstimulated, the lovers, it's the choice, the decision, but it's also the disconnect from something that's very close to you, something you very much so cherish. This doesn't have to be another person. It could be a business, taking a step back to reevaluate things because you've invested a lot of time, a lot of energy into this, right? And it's almost like, oh, was it all for nothing? No, it wasn't, because it's leading you to follow your truth, your intuition, the arrow that is actually directing your soul in life, versus the mind that directs you off of practical thinking and expectations of what you've been programmed to perceive. The wheel, right? I love the wheels, the 4 directions though too. But the Wheel of Fortune has Hebrew on it too. And for those of you who aren't aware, tarot actually is linked to the Kabbalah tree, and each major arcana card is a different path on that tree, right? I won't get into all of it, but this is a state of not only a higher consciousness, but if you're finding if you have like a newfound faith, or if you're getting back in touch with a higher power, or if you've disconnected from your spirituality and now you're falling back into it, that's because the universe is quite literally pushing you back toward what your soul, your intuition is craving. I love this for you because it's positive change. Yes, the Wheel of Fortune is good fortune and positive change and things working in your favor, but it feels very much so having to do with shifting into this higher state that's being cemented very much so at this time. And when we shift into higher states, it's kind of like when you move. Typically when people move, they get rid of the things that they no longer need. They start selling things or throwing things out. They're like, oh, when I move, I don't want to bring all this crap with me over there. These are my necessities. It's kind of what you're doing. You're cleaning house. Okay. Let's look at the wind. This is the cleaning house, right? The washing away. The washing away. Hangman. I like that. It's finding peace within oneself. And typically the Hangman's the dark night of the soul in tarot. This particular Hangman I love because it has a very serene energy to it, even though this is my 10 of Swords deck. This particular Hangman feels very casual. It feels like, you know what, I'm fine to stay here. I'm okay. It's coming to a place of acceptance and allowing things to fall away. Let's get another on the wind. 7 of Wands. You're no longer allowing things in your space that are going to create disruption, right? That are going to create chaos. There's no tolerance for it. There's no more. It was 22:22 on the timer when I just looked up saying that. There's no more tolerance for the things that are going to disrupt your peace. Okay. Bottom of the deck is Death, followed by the Sun. Yeah. So there's the ending because you're shifting into a higher state, right? The consciousness, your energetic body is choosing to go to a higher dimension or level or upgrade or awakening, whatever fucking level you want to use. And when that happens, things have to be cleaned out because they might be at this radio station, right? 92.1, and you're up at 97.5. Your new frequency, their frequency. Not twisting nipples or anything. It's just facts. And you're not going to listen to the same songs. You're not going to be the same style anymore. You're on different stations. So you're not going to speak the same language, but somebody else might. And that somebody else is going to be there for this part of your path. Okay? Cool. Let's look at the lower world. I heard sudden opportunities with this lower world. Okay, this is the fear of stepping into these opportunities. They're going to show up very quickly. They've already presented. And opportunities don't have to be tangible. They could be thought processes that you've manifested and you know you can act on and have not yet acted on. Lower world. This is the overall energy. Tell me about the lower world. Yeah, sudden opportunities. Six of Wands in reverse. Yeah, it's a fear of not receiving that recognition, not receiving that applause, or not receiving the accolades from the people around you saying like, yeah, you're doing great. It's a need to give that to self. It's a need to find that recognition within self, because giving self that recognition will overcome this ego. That is because the ego is the protector. It's the voice that says, well, what if I'm not good at it? What if I don't do well? What if I fail? And what if I don't make enough money? What if blah, 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 right? It's overcoming that and saying, you know what, I can. And if I make a mistake, I'm going to learn from the mistake and I will do better the following time, because each time I try, I'm going to learn something new. Let's look at the upper world. The Devil in reverse, the Fool in reverse, Nine of Wands, and the World in reverse. You got 3 majors. Oh, yeah. I love this. You're dang right we made it, Autumn. You're dang right. With the Devil in reverse and the Fool in reverse, it's understanding that these old ways, these old attachments, because that's really what it's breaking down to. It's attachments to old ways of doing things, behaving, executing your lifestyle or relationships, communication, thought processes, right? Anything. It needs to go. And I say anything because it's all going to happen wherever Taurus at 10 degrees is in your chart. So check where that is for you. So for instance, like Taurus is my 4th house. I have nothing in my 4th house, but my 4th house needs to be filled with senses of stability, senses of like contracts and things that are long term. Okay. So it's the home, right? It's me focusing on finances and work. It's getting more serious about that. So figure out where Taurus is in your chart, your natal chart, and see where that applies to you. Okay. Devil in reverse, though, is releasing the fears, limiting beliefs, those insecurities, so you can have the new beginning. And you have a Taurus moon, also 2nd house. So that's going to be work, finances, structures, okay, things of that nature. And it's across from the 8th, which would be shared finances and intimacy with partners, right? Shared finances with partners and whatnot. With the 9 of Wands in reverse, I mean, upright, there's a determined nature behind closing out the cycle, a deep knowing that this has to end. And the universe is very much so supporting it, but it is going to be a bit of an uphill battle, right? Because you're battling yourself. You're battling yourself, right? So it gets to this place of saying teeter totter between the higher self and the intuition. Okay. Very much so. But it's going to close out. It's the grand finale. Okay. All right. I love that. I love that. Okay. Let's see what we ended with. The bottom of the deck, we had the Queen of Swords in reverse and the 8 of Swords. Yeah. What I would most recommend at this time with the Queen of Swords, regardless of that, we already talked about this in the beginning with the astrology. It's not a time to be logical, practical. It's a time to be very intuitive. It's a time to really connect with your higher self, to do things that feed your soul, not to sound cliche, but things like allowing yourself to be outside in nature, things that make you feel really connected at this time are going to benefit you, because there's a lot of celestial bodies, planets, that are allowing us and the veil to be very thin, not us be thin. That would be great. I'm just kidding. All bodies are fantastic. You sexy mamas and papas. I see you. But with all that happening, the veil's thin. And so the opportunity to expand your consciousness to achieve higher states, that won't just happen through meditation. It is going to happen through breath work, right? Because that breath of life allows the body to expand, allows you to learn how to breathe properly again, allows you to learn how to feed yourself with the things that it most needs, air, right? So breath work is a fantastic way to really help you raise your state of consciousness. And then mindfulness, right? Gratitude, those things will raise your frequency, okay? So there is a bit of a difference between the two. Your frequency is what's going to help you attract the things that are meant for you. Your state of consciousness is going to help and affect the dimensions, or I guess dimensions like 5th, 7th, 8th, 12th, 9th, all that stuff, right? That you achieve when you meditate, and how connected you can be to a team. But be mindful to just shield yourself at this time, and shield your energy, especially like, please shield your energy. If you don't know how to do that, there's plenty of YouTube videos. I think I even did a Lead by Light series video on how to protect and shield your energy. So please look that up right now, especially with awakening energy. If you're feeling like a lot of anxiety, or you feel like you're shaking or vibrating a lot, or you feel like you can't like calm down, learning to ground yourself and then protect your energy will get rid of those sensations very quickly. And put your damn crystals away if you're vibrating like crazy, okay? Just put your crystals away. Be with your own energy. Don't bombard yourself with a lot. I'd recommend putting on grounding crystals like hematite or smoky quartz or green aventurine. There's a bunch that are very grounding. What's it called? Um, Kambaba jasper. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, do things that are going to help even out the higher state of consciousness by bringing you back to body. It's going to be very beneficial at this time. But I'm going to go ahead and do a second part of this reading on Patreon. Exactly. It will feel like a hangover without drinking. Yeah. And speaking of drinking, this is the best time to drink lots and lots of water, to eat like fruit, like real fruit, not like processed fruit juices and things like that. Like get like real fruit in you, like go cut up a mango or a melon, or eat some fruits and veggies, or dip or carrots and cucumber and broccoli and some shit and ranch. I don't care, you know? But do what you most need to do for yourself. Okay. And I love you. I wish you the best. And if you want to see part 2 of this reading, I'm going to do another spread just with the Angels and Ancestors deck on Patreon. Go ahead, check out our Patreon family. We do have a supporter tier, which is just $1 a month. It just supports the channel. It just supports everything, really. And yeah, it's going to be available to those on a supporter tier as well, just so you know. Yeah, high quality H2O. It's good for you. But I love y'all, and just be kind to yourselves. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.